starting soon. Go ahead and share the different places you know that might be interested. So we're starting soon. What's going on, everyone? Starting soon. Starting soon. Go ahead and share the different places you know that might be interested. Starting soon. noticed I had the, the mic down. I'm trying to do like 4 or 5 things at once. Bear with me. I don't have any technical help. But yeah, we about to get started. We getting started. Um, like I was saying, we have Facebook over here. We have Facebook over here. We have Instagram over here, and we have another Facebook over here, and we have YouTube Live over here and Facebook Live over here. Go follow me on Anderson Show on Instagram. Find me on YouTube, and you can find it at Peter Anderson Show as well. Let's see, I'm getting ready. Got 2 more minutes. So people come in on live. Go ahead, share. We're gonna start soon. Like I said, I got a lot going on right now. I don't have no technical help when it comes to this. So you guys should be able to hear me now on Instagram and here and over here is Facebook. So go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. We're gonna have some people coming on. Let me check the chat room. If you want the chat room, it's a Zoom chat room. And where you're gonna be able to get on it if you want to get on and talk. So alright, so let's go. Let's get it. Alright, we about to get started soon. We about to get started soon. Alright. 60 seconds. Getting started. Go ahead and start getting people coming in. Getting ready. We got about 30 seconds left before the countdown timer goes off on YouTube Live. Go ahead, subscribe on YouTube at Peter Anderson Show. And on Instagram as well, Facebook. All right, go ahead and like and share as well. Instagram. Let's do it. All right. All right, let's get it. Peter Anderson. Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Yeah, we're finally live here. I'm trying to do a few things at once. I have Instagram right here on my side on one of my phones here. I got Facebook Live and the We Run with Mod page over here, and then I have another Facebook and Facebook Live, and you guys on YouTube. So, all right, so we're gonna get started. Let me pull up some information here, and we want people to come in on the phone lines and share your thoughts. And if you disagree with me, go ahead and disagree with me. That's fine here. Let's see here. I gotta be able to see that phrase here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Drop this here. Ooh. All right, let me pull this back up. All right. let's get started here.
Look, I want this love forever. I'ma put it in a letter or make it into a song.
Let's get it.
About this love, maybe y'all can sing along. Listening to music on my Samsung, taking hits from all y'all. I still made it L1. Be to get a life. That I got one. Repping my father's father like a grandson. The reason why I'm here, really just think about it. Jesus is that reason, so that's why I talk about him. If you bout it, then I'm bout it. Go ahead and just shout it and declare it to the world. Like you coming out the closet, hold your wallet. If you got it, then go ahead and spot it. Be a blessing to your Lord, but only if you got it. And if not, you can hide it and you can keep it quiet. I'm here to bless you. Don't gotta come out of pocket. I mean, what's happening, man? What's real? I'ma declare my love, no matter how I feel. I declare my love for you, and it don't matter what they do, no matter what the world does. I'm not seeing them, it's me and you. 'Cause there's no love above us. That's why I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
All right. Okay.
Peter Anderson, Young Believers.
All right. So, all right. Today's topic is, and it's a question: what are ways white people look racist to people of color, or do you even care? And that last part, do you even care, was very interesting because I put it in a group, and they were kind of like saying, some of the black people were saying they don't care what white people, quote unquote, how they look racist. I'm not gonna address white people on their racism, as far as just as long as they don't address me with the racism. And I was kind of saying, do white people care that they look racist or not? So I should have said it, or do they care? So what are ways white people look racist to people of color, or do they care? And that's what I want to get to. That's what I want to get to right now. I want to get to that. And that's my whole issue. I want to see if you guys know, have things that y'all know that makes white people look racist. I'm gonna go ahead and start the conversation. Then we gonna go to our phone lines and get some people on here, and we're gonna have a discussion. All right, so let's go. All right, so white people look racist when they have a Confederate flag on their car, or they rock a Confederate flag. Oh, they look so racist. To white people and black people. Not just to black people. When you have that on your car, you look racist. When you rocking the flag, you look racist. And chances are, if you rock the Confederate flag, you probably are racist. You don't just look it. So that's one thing. Now, if you rocking a swastika and you're a Nazi sympathizer, you look racist. And I'm not saying, oh, you might not be racist. You just look it. If you do that and you're a Nazi sympathizer, you're racist. I mean, the whole premise, the whole premise of Nazis looking like blonde hair, blue eyes, and that's the supreme. Everybody else is lesser than. That's racist. So if you are a Nazi sympathizer, you don't just look racist. You are probably racist. So to people of color and to other white people, you look racist. And you probably are. Also, when white, all those things are bad. If you wearing a hoodie on with the white sheet over your head with the eyes cut out, and you walk around with the crosses on your chest and different kind of colors and stuff, you part of the KKK. You don't just look racist. You probably racist. And you probably proud of being racist. And you look like that to other white people, and you definitely look like that to people of color. Now, do you even care to know these things, those three groups? Do you care to know that? 9 times out of 10, you probably don't care to know that. Now, if you're trying to come from there, hey, we welcome you with open arms. Just as long as we can trust you, we definitely will welcome you with open arms. But I want to say this. I just named people that rock the Confederate, saying that they're going to rise again. That to defeat, I guess, rise again to defeat because they lost the first time. And then people that are Nazi sympathizers, and then people that are in the KKK. Those people look racist, definitely. And they most likely are racist. But I'm not going to talk about y'all. I already did. I'm talking about the people that don't think that they looking racist. I'm talking about the white people that think that they don't look racist, but when they talk, all we hear is racism and racist tropes and racist things come out of their mouth. But they think they're okay. Peter Anderson is here to tell you something. You look racist when you say, I have a black friend, so I can't be racist. That looks racist to us. I'm not saying you are. The chances might be slimmer than other people. But you look racist when you say that. You also look racist when you say, well, my boyfriend is black, or my husband is black, or my wife is black. You look racist. Because now you got to go to think that. That's real. That's, you say, Peter, why? Why would I look racist by saying that? Because to us, it's like, are you with them? Not just because of them, what they can actually do for you status wise, so they can be your racist trope, get out of free racist card. I don't like what. Why are you with them? If you are not racist and you're white, then you don't have to say anything. You just know within yourself. You won't get upset when I say certain things that white people need to listen to when it comes to these race relations with people of color. You won't have a rebuttal and say, oh, everybody experienced racism, not just you black people. When you say that, you look racist. I'm saying these things because I care about you. Not because, oh, it's just funny and it's, oh my gosh, I can't believe, he said that. Yeah. No, I'm not just saying that because I just want to have fun with saying that. I'm saying that because I love everybody. I might not like what they do. I might even hate what they do. But I love everybody. And this is coming from probably your only black friend that care about you to have these conversations with. I'm your friend. I want to be your friend. And I want to show you, this show is supposed to show you how to, first of all, not be racist. And then second of all, not look racist. Okay? I want to give you the key to not being racist. And in turn, hopefully that will trickle down to you not looking racist. When you might not be. You might be an ally. You might be anti-racist, so therefore you can't be racist if you're anti-racist. If you check racism at your job place and you check racism at these different places, you might not be racist if you do that. You know why? Because how can you be racist and anti-racist at the same time? You can't. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. All right? So let's get into this. She said, I'm looking at Facebook. She said, Barbara said, that's a lie. We know this. That's a lie. We know this. Yeah, those racist tropes. That's not all. I got more coming up in the episode. But I do want to take this time. Let's see here. I do want to take this time. Go ahead. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube as well, and click that bell so you can get notifications. Okay, and then also, um, like I said, before we get started, I like to get this stuff out the way. It's needed. Um, Go ahead and support the channel. This is I don't get paid for this. It's a passion I want to do to give back to my community. There are white people in my community. I like to give back. And so I do this show to give back to those people that have given back to so much to me by being members of this community that I'm in. And then it's also something, to the rest of the world. You know, this is what I can contribute to society, my knowledge on these topics. Um, all right. You can hit me up on my Cash App at at $ Pete Anders. Whether it's $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, whatever it is greatly appreciated. And I definitely, once I start getting them dings, I'll shout you out, and I really appreciate it. Because like I said, I don't get paid for this. And all this takes money to do. But it's one of my passions that I like to do. If not, if you don't want to send money to the Cash App and support the channel that way, you can go ahead from that standpoint. I do have an album out, so you can go ahead and support my album. It's called MTV Sundays, Movie, TV, Video Game Sundays. Some of y'all already checked it out. I think it's pretty dope. Go ahead and check it out. All right, so let's get into it for real. All right.
Peter Anderson.
All right. So, back on to the topic of the discussion today. I'm still scrolling through Facebook right now, just looking at some of this stuff here. If a black person is in the boardroom and you as a white person are in a boardroom and your white boss or whoever is leading that meeting says something that's completely and utterly racist, or does something that's racist, that tries to disfranchise people of color, go ahead and you don't check them, and then you look at your black colleague and they just kind of like give that look like, oh my gosh, can't believe he just said that. And you don't check it and use your standing in the company to check it, then you look racist. I'm not saying you are. You might be. But I'm going to tell you, you look racist. Let's see here. All right, let me take. All right, so can y'all guys hear me well on that? Hold on, let me see. I see everything. Make sure. All right, let's go ahead and run this back real quick.
Peter Anderson,
all right,
Young Believers.
give me like 30 seconds.
Look, I want this love forever. I'ma put it in a letter or make it into a song. When I rap about this love, maybe y'all can sing along. Listening to music on my Samsung, taking hits from all y'all. I still made it and won. Peter, get a life. Hell, I got one. Repping my father's father like a grandson. The reason why I'm here, really just think about it. Jesus is that reason, so that's why I talk about him. If you bout it, then I'm bout it. Go ahead and just shout it and declare it to the world. Like you coming out the closet, hold your wallet. If you got it, then go ahead and spot it. Be a blessing to your boy, but only if you got it. And if not, you can hide it and you can keep it quiet. I'm here to bless you. Don't gotta come out of pocket. I mean, what's happening? What's real? I'ma declare my love, no matter how I feel. I declare my love for you, and it don't matter what they do, no matter what the world does. I'm not seeing them, it's me and you. 'Cause there's no love above us. That's why I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you. Peter Anderson.
All right, I'm back. So, all right, so we got people that's waiting in the waiting room. So, let me do this here. And that was the issue I was looking at. We had people in the waiting room. Just a moment. Let's see here. All right. Hey, what's going on? Instagram. What's going on? All right. So, let me let some of the people in the room admit. All right. I definitely will let y'all guys. I'll let y'all guys in the room, and I'll let y'all guys in the room. So I'll unmute y'all guys one at a time. You guys could also raise your hand if y'all want to. You have a comment to say, and I'm gonna keep y'all posted on that and keep looking back and forth with that. All right. So all right, let's get started. And also when y'all come in the room, also you got something to say already. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me wrap up the intro. Give me like 2 more minutes. I'm gonna wrap up this intro, and then we're gonna get to the calls. I know you guys excited to get on, and then from there after that, we'll get into it. Remember your comment. What you gonna say? All right. All right. All right, and not only that, we were talking about the boardroom. Like I said, if you're in a boardroom or if you're in a workplace and you see that the people of color are not being treated fairly, then you also need to, if you don't speak up for them, you look racist. Plain and simple, you just look racist. I'm not saying you are. You look racist to people of color. Because you're being complicit. You standing by. You're not saying nothing. You letting racism reign when white people have the power to stop racism. They have more power than black people when it comes to this. And that's why I feel like black people need white people in that. So go from that. And then after that, we feel like we need you because you have the key to what we need to do to end this racism. All right, because we're in a racist system here. All right, so all right, let me look here. All right, also, and this is a ploy for white people to step up, not to shame you, not to say you no good and all of you are bad. No, we know all of you are not bad. We wouldn't have the Underground Railroad if it wasn't for you guys using your privilege to help us hide us in your homes when we were trying to get away from slavery. So we know all of you aren't bad. We know that. But we do have some things that haven't been addressed for so long, and it might feel like pulling off a Band-Aid real slow because it took this conversation took a long time to take place. Like I said, this is an opportune time, and it's time to be bold. Now we're in a crisis, and when you're in a crisis, if somebody starts shooting in a crowd and you're in a crisis, and I look to you and you have the keys to the car so we can run to the car and get away as fast as we can from whoever is shooting in the crowd, I'm not gonna look to you and say, hey, they're shooting. How do you feel about that? Do you feel good about them shooting? We need to go, but you're not in a rush. When you feel comfortable enough to get your keys out and come get in the car, and while you put in your keys in the car, how do you feel about that? When you turn a little bit to the side, I don't want you to feel too bad, but people are shooting. But just take your time, do what you need to do. People are shooting, but do what you need to do. I want you to feel so good before you turn on this car, shut the door, and we get out of here. So no, that's not what you're gonna do in a crisis. What you're gonna do in a crisis, you're going to like, come on, get out of here. You're not caring about anybody's feelings at that point. You're just trying to give them straight facts. People are shooting. Get your behind. Let's go. That's what we're dealing with. We're in a state of emergency when people of color are in a state of emergency. So when you feel people of color it almost feels like oppression, but it's not. I think it's a depression situation that white people are feeling. And it's a little bit of white guilt. It's a little bit of that. I don't want you to feel guilty anymore. I don't want you. So I'm trying to show you a way where you can become allies with what's going on in the atmosphere of the country and in the world, so you can be able to become anti-racist, so you can get into a position where we don't look at you as a racist. We look or someone that we can't trust. We look at you as an ally, someone we can trust, like the abolitionists, how they help people in the Underground Railroad and get free from slavery. We'll look at you like those people that took their white privilege because they were privileged to be white and to be in that spot, have a house in that spot, because black people couldn't have a house in that spot. They were enslaved. And the ones that were free in the North, certain places they couldn't live. So during those times, white people used their privilege to give us advantage so we'd be able to hide people so they can get free in the North. So we know that all white people aren't racist. What this channel is trying to do is trying to teach you how to not be racist and how to not look racist and how to be a strong ally, how to step up into the fight and what we're trying to get accomplished. Because if you do not get this accomplished right now, then the next generation has to get this accomplished. And then someone like Peter Anderson in the next generation has to come up and say what I'm saying. And then do you want them to act how you acted? No, you want them to get things done, be better. So I'm trying to encourage you guys to be better. I know it's hurt, but we're in a state of emergency. I don't have time to coddle feelings because people are shooting, people are dying, people's lives are being destroyed. While even though it doesn't affect you, it still is your business because these are your countrymen and women. And we need to make a change right now. Not tomorrow, not wait for 10 years or 20 years or 40 years for the next generation. We need it today, right now. Okay, let's get on the calls. Go ahead, honey, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Did it work?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
A real sure, and really I'm usually good with technology, but I don't even know. One of my classes this last year was virtual class, and I was good at it, but this was about to defeat me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm on here twice in fact.
Oh, you are? It's fine. You good. What you got for me? You got a comment? You got anything you disagree with? What? What's
Well,
up?
I think that let me see how I go. Well, there was a time, actually, the majority of my life, where I thought I was good. I thought I was fine. I, was raised by a hippie mother who, peace and love and all of that. And nobody ever, um, we loved everybody, which is that big thing, right? That people say, we love everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is one of those things that white people can say that actually is kind of a clue. Only that they actually don't love everybody because they don't stop they say, oh, well, I love everybody. And that's where they stop.
Right.
And they, because they've done their duty, right?
Right.
They love everybody, and that's all they have to do. Back in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
I decided to get my master's degree. And in the first semester, I took a class in race, class, and ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was pretty hard-headed. My poor professor, who, he's really a great guy, and, we're cool now. He's so patient, actually, because, we would talk about different things in the class, and I'd say, you know what, I'm 40 years old almost.
Mhm.
I don't have to, I'm not going to change my mind about anything.
Mm.
And he said, well, then if you're not trying to change, why are you here?
Right. That makes sense.
And I actually, that hit me. I felt it. And I said, oh, well, I don't know what I said, but I actually started thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
He said also that I remember one of the other things he said was that a lot of times people universalize their experience. That whatever happened to you, you expect it to have happened to everybody else.
Mm.
And it's very, very common to universalize your experience. And that's why, they say all the time, well, it's just so easy to get an IB, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just have to try a little harder.
Right.
And they, all you have to do is try. It's a free country. Anybody can do anything in America.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because they're universalizing their experience. And one, it starts with your standards. Because I see in our groups and stuff, there are some dang hobo-looking people,
Right,
thinking that they are fancy, and they're not. They're certainly not. Um, but they have done fine with their lives, because they had low standards and they're satisfied. And you should be satisfied by their low standards too, whether or not their low standards were attainable um, by you. And there was a time when I was teaching in Brunswick,
Hmm.
and
And
people.
before you go into that story about you teaching in Brunswick, and I want to say this so I can make it clear because um, I I know you expressed prior that you didn't want to be seen on camera. So, I, just for context purposes, what what race do you identify
Um, I am I am Caucasian.
with?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So you white. So you're white. Okay. So we just want that for context, you know, so we can see
No, no.
where you coming from, so people can say, hey, all
Well,
right, go ahead.
I thought I was one of those people, growing up that, yeah, we loved everybody, didn't see color. I'm guilty of saying, oh, I don't care if you're black, brown, white, purple, or polka dotted. I'm guilty of all of that
Right.
in my past. I'm guilty of it. Um, Coming from a person who is white. This is what I did
Hmm.
in my younger years. It took one getting educated on just the basic education that's offered for free in the United States, um, and and just other experiences to say, oh yeah, I actually see now. Yes, they, that I thought I was right, but I was actually wrong.
Mm, mm,
If that makes sense. That
right.
I.
So my
Like a lot of people, a lot of the white people that we see on the different pages, sites, whatever, that they think they're all good because they supposedly love everybody,
right.
but they don't spend any time thinking about what other people go through.
And
They take their own experience and put it on everybody else, and
right.
that everybody else has the same experience as them,
So let me ask
and
you a question.
universalize it.
Let me ask you a
Yes.
question. So that if that's the case, and we have people that think they're okay, um, and they think, oh, because I'm nice to everybody, that's okay. Wouldn't it be an issue if because you are nice to everybody, say okay, let's say you're nice to everybody, um, but if they're nice to you, I guess. But let's say that you're nice to everybody. If the racist comes into the room and does some racist crap, you're nice to everybody, so you're going to be nice to the racist and not say, "Hey, that was racist." You're going to be nice and not make him feel uncomfortable or her feel uncomfortable. Wouldn't you kind of do something like that and be nice to everybody? You're nice to black people, but you're nice to racists too, and then wouldn't that kind of like perpetuate racism?
Yes, I was guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the past. I've been growing a lot in the last decade. I'm not going to say I was born perfect, and
Right.
a lot of people, and maybe a lot of them are older than me. Maybe I you know that they're not no longer capable of changing. I thought I wasn't going to have to change at all, and I did to my viewpoints,
Mm.
and I think anybody can. And I like what you're doing. I always have something to say myself because I still believe that people can change because I've
Right.
been through that.
And that's what I
They,
do. That this is why I do what I do, because I they don't people don't know how much people flood my inbox with, Peter, you're wasting your time. These people don't want to change. They're not going to change. But I believe that if I plant the seed, then someone else will water it, or I even will water it. and then there will be a growth that takes place. But if we don't plant the seed, even though it might be a tough ground that we're dealing with, even though it might be some tough soil, we gotta dig in the soil and really dig in the soil, and then plant that seed so it can take root. And then we gotta come every day and water it until it grows to where it needs to be. We can't
That's
make it
right.
grow, right? We can't make it grow,
And
but we
me
can
personally,
water
I've never given up on anybody
it. Right,
ever. So I mean, that is, a strength that I have, that I don't give up on people.
right, right. Okay.
But
So let me.
yeah, I'm a very poor messenger. I feel like, considering,
I mean,
as
what?
I was saying before, like working in Brunswick,
Right.
I was not the right messenger necessarily to be educating. This is adult education, but educating adults
Right.
on their rights, and how they, some of them being quite aware of it, and some of them just not really realizing where their rights were not being met.
Mm.
And I'm a poor messenger because I'm a white woman. I don't have any right to be that messenger.
Right. And I'm not saying that um I'm not saying that and me myself personally, I don't think that you would be wrong by being a messenger. I think that black people, people of color, want to see more white people to be radical about it. Not for a season or not for just a moment, but it's dedicated to that lifestyle change of being radical about change. So like your other white friends, if they ever try to be racist around you, they know they can't be racist around you because you have made a, a change in your life so much. And I'm not saying you got to be the best activist and you got to go out there and be frontline on every 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 street, you know, corners walking down to protest a police shooting or some injustice. But what I'm saying is that you in your personal life, you've changed the atmosphere in your personal life enough so that you that you change the people around you, and they have to change when they come around you. If they are racist, they have to change because you change the atmosphere where you don't take no racist crap around you, whether it's people of color around or not. And that's why I say white people have the key to destroy racism, and we can help. Black people are willing to help. We have anger, and we need our anger to be put in a positive way because it's a righteous anger because we want justice, and we're upset about that. So I do want to say all black people are looking for those white people to do that. We're tired. I know some white people are tired, but I promise you, you take the tired white person for the struggle of people of color, and take the tiredest black person for the people struggle, and it's not comparable. So we're just trying to say, hey, we're tired. Please, you have the key, and we start to realize, hey, white people have the key. We need them. I believe we need them. I need them. I need you guys, and I'm speaking not to just you. I'm speaking to my audience. We
No,
need.
I actually fully understand, and I
Mm-hmm.
think I've told you before, that I came to um, the whole racial issues, to the fight, or whatever you want to call it, actually from feminism.
Mm-hmm.
That what I've said many times, that women have the right to vote because men voted for it.
Right.
right? And that's what you're saying. That, um, it was white men also who
Right.
passed all of the amendments
Right.
to make it possible for black people to have citizenship, to
Right.
vote, all of that,
They
right?
have they have the key.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
we have to recognize that there are some who are for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I came to the whole race thing, was actually through a feminism thing.
Mm.
I but the same thing, that what you're saying, that we need white people. Women needed men, and of course they were white men, but women needed men to be able to give us the agency that we have now,
Right.
that we're able to um, make an effect on our own lives, and enjoy the, the enjoy completely our citizenship, right?
Right.
So yes, of course, you want to say that you need white people, because that's actually literally the majority
Right.
of, of
Because
the people
you guys,
who make the law.
the whole premise behind that is that white people have the power, because when, a lot of times, if somebody is that's white that is racist, what they're gonna do, if they are wise racists, if they are self-controlled racists, when they come into that
They're going to
room
be
and a black,
voting people who agree with them.
right, they're gonna come into a room, and then the black people that are in the room, they're they're not gonna show their racism, and they're not gonna, because they're controlled. But when white people are in the room with themselves, with other white people, they kind of let their hair down just a little bit. You see what I'm saying? And so white people can check racism when people of color are not around to check it themselves, or to witness to see if you're going to check it for them. You see what I'm saying? White
Oh
people
yes.
have the key to check racism. So if you are racist and you step out that door, you check it when you leave the house, because now white people have created an atmosphere so much to where racism is not okay nowhere. You see what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, I think that still, a lot of the people who agree with this are women, and I think that we're discounted a lot. Maybe not as much as we were before, but I mean, they say horrible things about women. You know, um, that they won't say, that um, Dr. Jill Biden. They
Mhm.
won't call her by doctor,
Right.
but she earned a damn doctorate.
She did.
It's a respect thing,
Right.
you know. Um, my colleagues that I've worked with, if they had a doctorate, I've called them doctor. Period. I'd call Dr. King a doctor, not like some people just put a quote and put MLK. No, it's Dr. King, and you should address him as Dr. King.
That's true.
It's respectful,
Mhm.
and you know, women are discounted all the time. The woman who made the charges against Brett Kavanaugh,
Mhm.
she was a doctor. They refused in the media to call her doctor,
Mhm.
to give her that respect. So, we still need yet to get more white men on this boat.
Right.
All the white women, and I mean, even I still make mistakes yet as a white woman, as far as like intersectionality, things that I don't think about, or I have to go back and like correct myself. But we really got to get white men on board.
Correct. Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like, and the thing about it is that, you know it's a lot of white women that is the reason why a lot of white men are on board, because it might be, it might be your significant other that you talked into it and say, hey, and you had those, pillow talks that got them involved and like, man, I didn't see it that way, you
Or
know,
your children.
right?
Or your children.
Or your children, yeah. And it's
Because
like,
women still have the greatest, you know, influence over children as far as like raising children. So
this is true. This is true. So and then mothers are usually that nurturer. So they, the children usually like to come to the mother to the mother and talk about grievances and stuff. So when they hear those grievances and say, "Man, this is affecting my children," and then they, they talk about those things, with their significant other or other people in their groups, and then it's like when you guys, even you brought up feminism, what they were doing, they were locking down and saying, "Hey, we gonna stop doing X, Y. We gonna stop giving y'all sex. If y'all don't get right, that's what they did. And guess what? It was like they passed them law. You could them guys passed them laws so fast. They was like, oh no, y'all not finna go on strike. Oh, this not finna happen. You just want where you want me to decide at the dotted line right here, and then let these people vote.
that easy, babe. No,
Right,
yes.
right. But for
There was a lot of
right,
homes that were quite broken for a while.
right, right. It was.
But
It
I
was.
mean, the conflict actually goes back all the way to I think it was Abigail Adams and John Adams. Abigail Adams was writing letters to John Adams
Mm-hmm.
back in the colonial days, saying, "Hey, don't forget the women when you write this
Right.
Constitution or when you write this Declaration of Independence."
Right. Because y'all were excluded. What
Abigail
women?
Adams was like, wait, don't forget us.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually still did yet forget us.
Right. And that's essentially. And then, it took a fight. So that's why I say, a lot of white women could understand the struggle, because they experience the closest thing that black people have experienced to racism is, the lack of respect from their men, in that same kind of matter. So that's why a lot of white women can kind of agree and see it first, because they've dealt with white male superiority, and that's what racism is. It's superiority complex. It's like one race is superior than the other, and it's white supremacy. So when you have that's why women can see it. So it's a
I have to say though that I actually haven't experienced a lot of issues like that. I've been kind of maybe strong and scary most of my life, and that I've never felt the way a lot of women I know feel. And I mean that was also something that I haven't been I've been wrong in parts of my life where even with other women, men don't bother me as I walk down the street, so they can't possibly be bothering you. It took me a while to get around to the fact,
Right.
that I just hadn't been thinking about, anything. And it's just that easy to not think about anything and still think, oh well, I don't see color and whatever, just because I haven't been through it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I've never been raped, but that doesn't mean that women don't get raped.
Right.
It's really basic, but it's really easy for people to convince themselves that again they universalize their experience. I haven't been through it, so nobody knows.
And I think that, and that's an excellent point. And I really think that it comes down to, us having a conversation, an honest one. I think a lot of times they know. Sometimes it's ignorance, but a lot of times white people are not stupid. They know. They know things. They're not dumb. you know. Just like black people are not stupid. We know we're not dumb. So it's like we know you guys know for the most part. It's just the matter of having an honest conversation and saying, "Okay, I know." That's
that
honest.
one video that you shared earlier today, where the young woman was saying, the people need to really have the conversations with themselves. Look inward. Looking inward is hard
Right.
because you know what? When you realize you were wrong, it hurts you.
Right.
It makes you feel bad, which it should.
I actually have a snippet of that.
But you know what? Most people would just rather not.
Right. I also have a snippet of that I'm gonna play. You might not be able to hear it, but the audience is gonna hear it.
Because
Hold on, just a
so
moment.
right. And then all the people who say, well, this is what I commented on. All the people who say, I didn't own slaves, which is one of those other things that people say. The white people say, I'm not racist. I didn't own slaves, so why should I take any kind of blame or whatever? No, it starts here and it starts now.
Hold on, just a moment. Hold that thought. I'm gonna play this little snippet, what you were saying, and then you can continue on from that. Hold on.
Okay.
You might not hear it, but it'll be on the live.
Okay.
White people, y'all have a lot of inner work to do that you're avoiding because the work is hard. You're not upset with us. You're upset with your ancestors and your family members and the people around you that you know are doing wrong and don't want to change and that have created this bed that you now have to lay in. And it's unfair. But somebody has to do the work. Whatever generation fails to do, they leave to the next generation to do.
She was saying, I just played the clip, and she was saying that whatever you leave in this generation, you leave for the next generation to do. So and you were talking about that. Go ahead and unmute yourself, honey.
That she said that the things you didn't do all those things in the past, but what you do now is important, and that
Peter Anderson.
yeah, I didn't have slaves, and probably actually none of my ancestors were slave owners because a lot of them were recent immigrants to the United States from Eastern Europe. But where they had a kind of feudal system until pretty recently. Mexico still has that feudal system, but that's not what we're talking about today. But that what you do today and now in this lifetime will make a difference.
Right.
Just start doing it. Just say, let's be different. Let's be better. Let's really think about other people and what they go through. It's not just about me. I'm not going to say my experience is the same exact experience everyone else has. And really think about other people. I know a lot of people that consider themselves empaths, and I don't consider myself to be one. But that I consider myself actually very able to think about what other people are going through, just like in an analytical way. That I can see it. I can see the numbers. I teach math, right? I see the numbers, and I understand the statistics, and I look at it and say, no, this is factually what's happening. And what I do now, especially like we were talking before, talking to my kids and the kids that I teach, that what I do in this lifetime is important. How I approach them and challenge them to think. Even as a math teacher, you can challenge people on their prejudices.
You can. And it all starts with a conversation, but the key to that conversation is honesty. We have to have honest conversation, because this is what I like to say, and y'all guys can snip it and put it on World Star. That when you have a dishonest conversation and somebody's dishonest, that thing that they're dishonest about only helps them. It doesn't help the conversation or nobody else but them. So that's why it's important to have an honest conversation When you are dishonest in your conversation, then all you're doing is self-serving yourself, and you're not contributing what needs to be done to have a productive and honest conversation so we could get things done. It's like, for example, you go to work and your boss says, I need you to do this paper and I need you to file it and do the spreadsheet and in this kind of way, and you tell them, well, I can't do it like that, I gotta do it like this. When you know you can do it like that, you just don't want to. It only serves you, it doesn't serve what the situation's about. You get what I'm saying? So being dishonest only serves the person that's being dishonest, it doesn't serve anybody else. So that's
And
why.
being honest with yourself is probably the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I spent 40 years of my life almost, you know, thinking that I was right, that I had, you know, no prejudices,
Mm-hmm.
but I did. And
Right.
I had, you know, no misconceptions, but I did. And that my life wasn't easier than anyone's. In fact, I grew up poor. I had a lot of struggles. I mean, this story of, you know, my undergrad years actually did inspire a lot of people back when I used to tell it, because I went through some rough times. However, I wasn't always right, and I had to be honest with myself and say, well, you know what? It might not have worked out for someone else.
Right. Exactly.
It might not have worked out for someone else, but you know, I spent a lot of years, almost 40 years, thinking, well, if I did it, everyone else can too, and that's actually not true.
Right.
It's not, and it's not honest, and it's not. You know, I might have thought, oh yeah, I love everybody, or I don't care about this, that, or the other. But
Mm-hmm.
I was not intentionally hurting people, but
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't doing all that I really would like to do. You know, as a person, one of my things that I think is important is to be fair, right? But I wasn't being fair because I wasn't really thinking about what others could possibly go through.
Right.
It was just my own little tiny life that I was concerned about, and it was education that opened my
Mm-hmm.
mind. And you know, I've known some other people that, you know, have also, you know, they were this, that, and the other, including white men that they go and actually go on, you know, like to get a master's degree, for example, like I did, and they changed entirely. You know, men that I might have known that were misogynistic, a little bit arrogant, they changed. They're on the same page as I am right now, and their education made a difference.
Right.
Not everybody has to get a master's degree to get
Right.
to that.
And that's the thing. It's about educating yourself. We have so many things that our former generations didn't have. Like I was, talking about the other day. We have something called a cell phone that we can do whatever we want. We can get as much information we want from that thing. Do whatever we want. We can take care of business. Do all kinds of things. It's so much information out there to educate
Peter, are you a millennial? I think you are.
Yes, I fall. I'm like at the top end of it, like that. Well,
Right.
like
And I am
sort of
10X,
kinda.
right? I am 10X. So I also look at this though, because you know I work with um the Gen Z kids now, and oh gosh, they have so much information. You know what? Their parents are not going to be able to control whether or not they learn about um, gender they learn about sexuality, or they learn about race, or they learn
Right.
about um, feminism. They're not going to be able to control it
They're
because
not.
these Gen
You
Z
see, but you
kids
see
have
that
so much access, so much more than
and they trying to.
even millennials had.
They trying to. That's the thing about it. They really are trying to. You know,
Oh yeah.
they
So
trying
yeah,
hard.
don't let them have the CRT, but you know what they're doing right now.
Right, right,
These kids are like, oh, what's CRT?
right. Y'all talking about it so
they're
much,
like
and
on
then
their little dang
and they're
cell phones,
educating
like
themselves, and they
looking all
telling they
this stuff up.
right, and they telling their parents
They're making actually, they're a lot of them are making the
right,
right choice.
and they
They're
actually
really understanding. They're really open minded, and they're really just
right,
amazing kids. And
right.
I am so hopeful for our
Yes,
kids
I'm hopeful.
because of the fact that I know they have so much access,
Right,
and we can't control what they can learn.
exactly. But yeah,
And
go
the
ahead.
more that we try to hold them down by saying, "Oh, you're not allowed to learn this,"
Hmm.
the more they're going to try and find out.
Exactly.
That's just kids. That's just
Exactly.
kids. Period. And it's been kids since I don't know, at least 100 years ago. But that kids rebel or whatever.
But yeah, go ahead.
But the young kids that I know now, they're so open minded. They're just beautiful, and the fact that they think about so many things, and I didn't tell them. I just teach math.
Right, right.
But we had some conversations. They asked me. I think because they know I'm willing to listen
Hmm.
and not shut them down for every single thing. But yeah, they're learning it whether or not the parents or the educational system or the government or the news, they're learning about it whether or not
Hmm.
they're allowed to. Not allowing them to is making them more likely to find out because they have so much access.
Yeah, and um, we kind of running out of time for the show,
Oh
but
goodness.
I do no, it's good. I like this conversation, and I just want to say I really do appreciate you. Okay, if I haven't if you haven't heard somebody say that they appreciate you, I have enjoyed our conversation. I really do appreciate you, and
Thank you.
and this is proof that people can have conversations. Like people talk about all kinds of stuff and say, online about me and say that they can't have that I can't have a conversation. I think it's the other way around. I think they can't have a conversation.
Right. I mean, some people tend towards ugly.
Right, right, right. But I appreciate you coming on tonight. And I tell you to take care. Have a good night, and I appreciate you. Much love. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Peter Anderson.
All right. Go ahead. Go YouTube. Subscribe. Uh, like and share. And like I said, I'm just gonna make my little closing comments. Um, tonight's show was eye opening. As far as what this channel is trying to accomplish. What I'm really trying to accomplish here is an open dialogue, um, a safe space for us to talk and have a conversation. You might get, it might get heated at times, but that's honest. It might get, people might not understand sometimes, but hey, that's honest. And so I really want to take this time to talk about, in closing, on the topic at hand. I never said out of my mouth, all white people are racist. Period. I said all white people are racist unless they are anti-racist. Period. This is not supposed to bring white people down, this is your only black friend that is bold enough to have this conversation with you with mask off, no BSing required, no BSing allowed, honest with you, trying to be honest with you and say, hey, you need to be anti-racist. It's not just good enough to be nice to people. It's not just good enough to just have a black friend or be linked up with black people from time to time, or even be in a marriage or be in a long-lasting friendship with black people. Because the issue is, if that black person experienced racism, will you be nice even to that racist that in front of your face? No, I will hope that you will say something and check that racism. And even check that racism when your black friend is not around, that you're 100 when you're with your black friends and when you're not with your black friends. You need to keep it 100, white people, and be honest with yourselves and with us. We know, we see. So we know what it is. We just want you to be honest and say, hey, there might be some things in my life that needs changing. And that's honest, and we won't bash you for that. We respect that. But for you to hide it and act like everything's okay, especially when you use these racist tropes that make you look racist, even when you might not be. You need to have the opportunity to come to this channel or to a safe place and have a conversation, an honest one. And that's what I'm about. So if you tune into this channel, it's supposed to accomplish a couple of things. One, to show you how to be anti-racist, and two, to show you how to not look racist especially when you're not trying to be. So that's all I got for tonight. Tonight was mellow, but not Anthony. Y'all take care, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and y'all have a good night. Until next time. Until next time.
Peter Anderson, Young Believers. Look, I want this love forever. I'ma put it in a letter or make it into a song. When I rap about this love, maybe y'all can sing along. Listening to music on my Samsung, taking hits from all y'all. I still made it and won. Peter, get a life. That I got one. Repping my father's father like a grandson. The reason why I'm here, really just think about it. Jesus is that reason, so that's why I talk about him. If you bout it, then I'm bout it. Go ahead and just shout it and declare it to the world. Like you coming out the closet, hold your
Don't forget
go ahead and
to like and share. And go subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Keep it quiet, I'm here to bless you. Don't gotta come out of pocket, I mean, what's happening? What's real? I'ma declare my love, no matter how I feel.
Also follow me
No matter what the world does, I'm not seeing them, it's me and you. There's no love above us. That's why
Peter Anderson. All right, till next time. Y'all have a good weekend. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Have a good weekend.